Hello and welcome to Sandman Gaming. This is my first video for my channel. And the game I'm playing right now is Star Citizen, Alpha 3.12.1. This video I'm not going to talk too much about the game I'm playing, just do a brief introduction of who I am. I would like to talk about what my goals are for the channel, and what kind of content I'd like to put out. So, without further ado, let's get going, and you guys can just ride along with me while I talk and play this game. Alrighty. So, why I decided to start creating videos and content is because I love the games I play. I like to play a lot of early access games, and I follow their development pretty closely. Star Citizen's basically a glorified early access game, hence why I'm showing it off. But the main thing is I enjoy these games. I want to share them with you. I want to share my thoughts, feelings, and opinions about these games with you, and hopefully create some content that you all will enjoy. What I would love to do is create some beginner's guides and how-to videos. I would also love to get in and do some streams, and in general, like, play with the community. And for a long time I didn't actually want to create videos or stream. I just wanted to enjoy my games. I didn't want to go out of my way to put myself on a schedule and put out content and everything. I just thought it would be too much, because I got an actual job. I repair aircraft for a living, and sometimes my job takes me to some interesting places, and I can't always keep content or keep up with a streaming schedule or anything like that. But after talking it over with my brother, who came down to help me repair my train wreck of a pickup, he thought that I should get into this. He really enjoyed watching me play Star Citizen, hearing me talk about it, enjoyed the passion that I had for the game, and said that I should start streaming, because at this point he's now decided that he has to rebuild his gaming rig so he can play this game with me. And that's the kind of things that I want to share with other people too. I want to get other people excited about these games. I want to get them involved with them. I want to help them get started and get things off in the direction that they want to go, if that makes sense. Now, my goals for the channel, aside from just putting out content for you all to watch and enjoy and share my opinions, I don't really have a desire to be monetized. If it happens, it will. I'm not going to start a Patreon anytime soon. Maybe never. I don't know. Maybe. I just, it's not my full-time job. I'm not looking to advertise for anyone or to basically make a living off of this. If it ever becomes monetized, all that'll happen is I'll use it to buy more equipment to do this better. And that's it. So, aside from that, and aside from my goals for the channel, I will introduce myself a little bit. So I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember. I grew up in a household where my parents played Dungeons and Dragons on a weekly basis with their friends when I was really little, which probably heavily influenced a lot of my tastes and opinions when it came to entertainment, things I did for fun, things that I wanted to embrace. So, with that, I it basically was my introduction into being a nerd or a geek or whatever you want to call it. I just love games. I love computers. I love technology. I love the various things out there.
Thank you. And please visit again.
And I enjoy these things with other people. Some other things that might happen is I might live stream some of our D&D sessions, or just record some of our family D&D sessions where we all get together and play and see how you guys like that. I love tabletop games. I love survival games. I love sandbox games. I'm gonna pause my track IR there. I like most games. There are only a handful of game genres that I personally don't care for, and it's nothing against those genres. They're just not my thing. I am not a huge fan of like Call of Duty type first-person shooters. I can get down on a good first-person shooter if there's a narrative or a story, or if it's sandboxy. Like, I don't mind that. I get burnt out on the pick your loadout, charge across the battlefield, shoot a bunch of people, and play capture the flag in a video game. It's just, I don't find that as enjoyable as I do games where players can create their own content or they can do their own things in them. I don't care for battle royale games for much the same reason. It's just repetitive for me, and it's just the fastest way for me to get bored. And I also don't quite get into the hyper competitive mindset that I tend to find in those gaming communities. But again, it's nothing against those communities. They have their place. People enjoy those games, and I would never say that they're bad games. They're just not my thing. Let's see. What else? What else can I talk about? Some other things that will probably happen is I tend to ramble, if you hadn't noticed. I lose my train of thought fairly easily. Probably due to a lot of the things I have dealt with personally in my life. It makes it hard for me to stay on track a lot of times. But that being said, I'll try to stay on track. But I do love sharing stories about, my terrible life decisions and the things that it has led to having happen. A good example of that, like I could go on good examples of that. I just make poor life choices sometimes that usually result in just pure hilarity for most people. And although it takes me a little while to get over the fact that, I did something stupid, eventually I do, and then I laugh at myself for it. And if I'm sharing it here, it means that I'm laughing at myself for it. Best example I can think of right now is I took out a $2,000 loan on a puppy. That was not a smart move. Don't ever do that. These places that offer you a loan to get a puppy or something like that, they're going to gouge you for interest like no other. So by the time it's done, that puppy that you should have just only spent, $2,000 for, instead ends up being, $4,500. Yeah, don't do things like that. That's hopefully from my silly antics and my silly stories, you guys can learn things. I will share stories about my time in the military, at least those that I can. Like I said, I'm an aircraft mechanic. I spent my whole career working on C-130s and other large cargo aircraft. I have done some minor repairs for people who have smaller aircraft and things like that. I'm an avionics specialist, so it's radars, radios, guidance systems, weapons systems. I'm familiar with all of it. I know how it all works. I've worked hands-on on aircraft, which gives me a unique perspective to games like Star Citizen. But there's already a lot of people who do channels where they're like, oh, I'm an avionics specialist, or I'm this and I'm that, and like this is my take on it. I'm an architect. Like there's guys out there already like that, and they put out great quality content, and I love their stuff. So I'm gonna try to, I guess, keep that to a minimum, but just keep that in mind whenever I'm talking about something like this, like a game like this, that I have my own perspective on it. Now, given that I have a military background, just full disclosure, I'm never going to pretend that I'm anything more than what I am. I will never be that guy that gets on here and goes, oh yeah, like I went and did this thing while I was in the military, and I didn't. There are guys out there like that. They like to talk up their military service, and they like to embellish it. That's not my thing either. I'm proud of what I did. It has its place. But there are people, and they have gotten on the aircraft I have worked on, and I have seen them off to places to do things that I myself am incapable of doing, and I know it, and it takes away from them when people do go out and exaggerate their own accomplishments in the military. And that's all I'll say on that. But like, you'll never hear some crazy story that from me that didn't actually happen in my career. But most of my crazy stories amount to working on a flight line, and that's it, or bar hopping through a town or something, and that's it. But I'll try and keep my stories clean and family appropriate. I'll put disclaimers if they are not, and that'll be that. I'll keep my language clean. I'll try and keep that clean, and we'll move forward from there. So thanks for coming to my first video. If you like this video, please comment, subscribe, share, click the like button. I don't know, do whatever you want. But hopefully you come back and I see you in the future. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and have a terrific day.